in the geopolitical battle between the U.S. and China. When you have these important materials weaponized, how does Indonesia fit into this broader global tech race when you're trying to build this supply chain end-to-end EV battery production ecosystem?
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Heidi, for having us. I think, first of all, in terms of the Indonesia strategy, we really are going to be able to fit the Indonesian resources into the global supply chain. That is why we are developing our projects to serve the three main regions in the world for EV, right? So being one is China, the other one is the US, and the other one is Europe, of course. So that's why we are developing this end-to-end ecosystem all the way from mining into the battery cells and even into recycling, which is very good for the environment. We target not just the Indonesian market, but to all the three major markets. So that is why Indonesia will be there as the major supplier of the global supply chain of the battery materials and the battery EV.
What are you seeing in terms of demand for those batteries? And when it comes to Indonesia providing that end-to-end service, how advanced are you in that initiative?
So I'll just update in terms, I think, the recent developments. As you know, we are having this end-to-end development of battery ecosystem from mining all the way to the precursors, cathode anodes, and the battery cells production and recycling. We are partnering with the largest EV battery producers in the world. And we're also partnering with the third largest battery EV producers in the world, one from China and one South Korea. And we're progressing very well. And we aim to have the production of the first 10 gigawatt hours of battery cell actually in Indonesia. This is the largest investment of battery cells in Southeast Asia by 2024. And we will have the end-to-end production of battery EV from our mining site through the battery cells in 2026. So we're looking at additional numbers of about 25 to 30 gigawatt hours in 2026 of installed capacity here in Indonesia, where we work, of course, with the partners and then doing this integrated from mining all the way to the battery cells itself.
And partners include country partners too, right? We heard just this week that Australia and Indonesia are getting close to signing an agreement. How important would these sorts of deals be, given that you have these varied strengths? Australia is the biggest lithium producer. Indonesia has the biggest nickel reserves in the world.
Yes, very, very, very important because, as you know, for the current batteries, the nickel, manganese, cobalt, Indonesia will have, currently we have the largest deposits and production of nickel, and what we are lacking is actually lithium. And Australia works nicely with us in terms of the geographical position, where it's just close to Indonesia, and they are now, I guess, one of the biggest lithium producers in the world, account for maybe 30 to 40% of our production of lithium. So very strategic for us to work with Australia to have the shortfall of materials coming from Australia. We have all the other components, the nickel, the cobalt, to some extent. We have the aluminum, which is also very important for the battery casings. And we don't have lithium much. We do have some lithium in our geothermal, but it's currently is a very tiny amount. But to have lithium supply from Australia, it will be very strategic and really complementing the effort for us to create the EV here in Indonesia.